In the heart of winter, 1876, Prospect Creek Camp in Alaska shattered records with temperatures plummeting to an astonishing 50 degrees Celsius, 46 degrees Celsius. This was not just cold, it was a record-breaking winter that challenged all norms and pushed survival to its limits. Imagine the average daily temperature dropping below freezing point, 32 degrees Celsius or 0 degrees Celsius. Such conditions make rescue efforts not just challenging, but often perilous. Wind chill can lower the perceived temperature significantly, making it even harder for survivors and soldiers to maintain body heat. Every breath of cold air they inhale is a struggle. In 2019, the polar vortex caused temperatures in the Midwest to drop as low as 48 degrees Celsius, 44 degrees Celsius. Such conditions are not just rare, but also incredibly dangerous. The body's natural response to cold is to constrict blood vessels to preserve core body temperature. But in extreme cases, the blood flow can be so restricted that tissues may become permanently damaged or even die. In Little Bighorn, MT, on June 25, 1876, temperatures averaged below freezing point, with snowfall recorded at 0.1 inches, 2.54 millimeters, and wind speeds reaching up to 15 mph, 24 km/h. These were not ordinary winter conditions, they were life-threatening and could turn even the simplest tasks into battles for survival. But how did these extreme conditions impact the efforts of those trying to survive and be rescued? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the record-breaking winter of 1876. Before we begin, a small request. Most of the people listening tonight aren't subscribed. If this channel has ever helped you drift off, take a moment to subscribe. It's free, it helps this channel more than you'd think, and you can always change your mind later. And if you feel like it, leave a comment telling me where in the world you're listening from and what time it is where you are. I love reading them. One more thing before we begin. I'm also a co-founder of a sleep app built to be the most affordable one out there. No ads, ever. Just sounds and stories made to help you sleep. It may not be released yet as this video goes up, but if you're watching a little later, it might be out by now. Just search for it, it should be easy to find. It works on iPhone, Android, and everything in between. Downloading it is the best way to support this channel. In winter, survival becomes a complex dance of endurance and luck. As temperatures plummet, rescue efforts face severe challenges. For example, snowstorms can reduce visibility to near zero, making it difficult for rescue teams to navigate and locate survivors. Blizzards further complicate matters by causing power outages, hampering the operations of emergency services. These extreme weather events can turn rescue missions into perilous endeavors. Hypothermia and frostbite become leading causes of cold-related deaths, particularly in harsh winter conditions. The wind chill factor during that winter was estimated at 50 degrees Celsius, 446 degrees Celsius, making every breath outside a dangerous gamble. Rescue efforts were particularly hampered by blizzards that occurred on January 5 and February 14, 1876. These storms turned what should have been straightforward rescue missions into desperate struggles against the elements. Blizzards can isolate communities, making it nearly impossible for help to reach those in need. The combination of severe cold and high winds creates an environment where even the most prepared rescuers are at a disadvantage. In such conditions, every second counts. Every delay means another moment of suffering for those who need help. It's a race against time and the merciless winter weather. Highlighting the difficulties faced by those trying to help during extreme winters reveals the true resilience and determination required to save lives amidst nature's harshest conditions. In the winter of 1876, the unforgiving cold swept across America, leaving soldiers to endure harsh conditions in makeshift camps. Winter encampments, often lacking proper shelter and adequate supplies, put troops at a severe disadvantage. The lack of shelter meant that soldiers had to rely on whatever materials they could scavenge to stay warm. Tents were often makeshift, and many times troops had to huddle together under meagre coverings. Adequate supplies were scarce, with food rations running low and medical provisions almost non-existent. Soldiers had to make do with what little they had, often leading to malnutrition and poor health. These harsh conditions took a toll on the soldiers' morale and survival rate. The constant cold and lack of proper rest led to fatigue and weakened immune systems. In severe cases, symptoms of hypothermia included a lack of shivering, rigid muscles, dilated pupils, and an inability to move, making rescue efforts challenging. For soldiers trying to maintain their strength while enduring these hardships, the winter of 1876 was a cruel test of resilience. The extreme cold and lack of proper resources not only affected their physical health, but also their mental well-being, making every day a struggle for survival. In such dire circumstances, the lack of adequate shelter and supplies directly impacted soldiers' survival rates and overall morale, highlighting the crucial need for better preparations in future winter encampments. The lessons learned from this harsh winter served as a grim reminder of the necessity to better equip and protect soldiers during extreme weather conditions. Among the brave individuals who defied these challenges was Harriet Tubman, known for her daring rescues and strategic military operations. Her missions during winter are testament to her unyielding spirit and commitment to freedom. Tubman's most notable wartime operation was the Combahee Ferry Raid on June 2, 1863. The raid was meticulously planned and executed under her leadership, making it a significant event in the history of abolitionism. Despite the cold weather conditions, Tubman rallied 150 African American Union soldiers to participate in the mission. Together, they managed to rescue over 700 enslaved people from plantations along the Combahee River in South Carolina. Tubman's strategic leadership and bold actions during this raid made her the first woman to lead a major military operation in the United States, further cementing her legacy as an icon of resistance and freedom. The extreme conditions of winter did not deter Harriet Tubman from carrying out her missions. Equipped with a small pistol, she used it for protection and to encourage the runaways to keep moving forward. Her rescue missions often involved transporting slaves to safety using the Underground Railroad network, ensuring their safe passage through treacherous and harsh landscapes. The sheer magnitude of Tubman's accomplishments serves as a powerful reminder that extreme conditions did not dampen the spirit of those fighting for freedom. Her actions continue to inspire us today. Winter is a time of hibernation for some animals, a crucial strategy to survive the harsh conditions. This natural response to extreme weather has evolved over thousands of years and is an essential part of many species' survival toolkit. Migration patterns also play a significant role in how animals adapt to winter. Many species travel vast distances to find more suitable environments during this season. This not only allows them to escape the cold, but also ensures they have access to necessary resources like food and water. In some cases, survival strategies involve building communal shelters where multiple individuals huddle together for warmth. This cooperative behavior is seen in various species, including mammals and birds, as a way to mitigate the cold. The impact of winter on animal behavior extends beyond just survival. It also influences their breeding cycles. Some animals time their mating seasons specifically to avoid the harshest weather conditions, ensuring their offspring are born in more favorable environments. For instance, birds that migrate to warmer regions during winter often return to their breeding grounds just as temperatures begin to rise. This timing ensures that their young have a better chance of survival from the start. The harsh winter of 1876 in the United States provides a stark example of how extreme weather conditions can challenge both humans and animals alike. Record-breaking low temperatures, blizzards, and wind chills made it especially difficult for all living things to endure. These challenging conditions not only impacted human rescue efforts, but also forced animals to adapt or perish. The harshest winters, like the one in 1876, serve as a reminder that all life must find ways to cope with the ever-changing environment. Winter is a time when nature displays its raw power, shaping history and challenging humanity's resilience. Among the most historic winters was that of 1860–1863 during the American Civil War. The harsh conditions made winter warfare particularly brutal, impacting both soldiers and rescue efforts. The winter of 1862 to 1863 was one of the coldest on record. Letters from Civil War soldiers provide first-hand accounts of the horrors they endured during that winter. One such letter, written by Samuel D. Lagade on October 7, 1862, described the grim realities of war in the frigid conditions. Lougheed's letter serves as a chilling reminder of the extreme hardships faced by troops. Winter camps were often ill-equipped to handle such harsh conditions, leading to significant hardship among the soldiers. The Auburn University Digital Library houses collections of diaries and letters from the Civil War era, offering a window into the struggles endured during that historic winter. These documents reveal how the bitter cold impacted not only military strategies, but also the everyday survival of soldiers. The correspondence included both private and official figures, such as Rufus King and Ulysses S.S. Grant. The impact of winter on the American Civil War was profound, with winter warfare significantly altering the outcomes of many battles in the North. The bitter cold and heavy snowfall made rescue efforts nearly impossible. The winter of 1862 to 1863 was particularly harsh, with temperatures plummeting to record lows. Troops in winter camps faced severe hardship, struggling with insufficient supplies and shelter. Understanding these historic events helps us appreciate how past challenges have shaped our present and future strategies for survival in extreme conditions. The resilience shown by soldiers during this historic winter underscores the incredible lengths humans go to in order to survive and thrive despite adversity. As we delve deeper into the stories of historic winters, it becomes clear that every season brings its own set of challenges and opportunities for human ingenuity and perseverance. Winter is a time of harsh realities, especially for those in the midst of conflict. In the American Civil War, winter brought unique challenges and demanded distinct military strategies. This is where winter warfare tactics come into play. Consider the winter of 1876 to 1877. Temperatures in Virginia plummeted, with average lows dipping below freezing and highs barely reaching into the 30s. Days were short, with sunlight a precious commodity. Nights were long and bitterly cold, making camp life particularly challenging for soldiers. He mentioned a battle where soldiers were unable to ascertain the outcome due to its distance. This highlights one of the critical challenges winter poses: visibility. Flooded rivers significantly impeded military progress during the Civil War. The Little Ice Age, which spanned from around 1310 to 1850, contributed to these unpredictable weather patterns. The harsh conditions shaped military strategies and tactics. Commanders had to adapt their plans to accommodate the extreme cold. In his letter, Lougheed described how soldiers were forced to endure these conditions, struggling with shelter and supplies that were often inadequate. The cold temperatures constricted blood vessels, preserving core body heat, but also posing the risk of frostbite and other cold-related injuries. So while winter brings its own set of challenges, it also highlights human ingenuity and resilience in the face of adversity. Understanding how weather shapes strategies is essential for appreciating the complexities of warfare tactics and the crucial role winter plays in them. But in the bitter cold of 1876, Tubman would undertake a new kind of mission, spying for the Union during the Civil War. She carried not just a pistol but also a sharpshooter's rifle, an uncommon weapon for a woman at the time. Her role was crucial in gathering intelligence, a task that became even more challenging during the extreme winter conditions. Snowstorms reduced visibility and blizzards caused power outages, making it difficult for her to navigate and locate important information. In the face of such adversity, Tubman demonstrated extraordinary resilience. She knew that every piece of intelligence she gathered could turn the tide in a battle or save countless lives. This raid highlighted not just her bravery, but also her strategic prowess in the face of harsh conditions. It was a testament to her unyielding determination and the value of every piece of intelligence she gathered. In 1876, winter conditions were particularly brutal with record-breaking temperatures and heavy snowfall. Yet Tubman's spirit remained undaunted. She understood that every step in the cold was a step closer to freedom for those she sought to help. Her contributions during this time are a reminder of the extraordinary lengths people can go to when driven by a higher cause. The extreme weather conditions only serve to highlight her unwavering commitment and bravery. As we appreciate the role of winter in shaping historical events, we must also honour figures like Harriet Tubman, who overcame incredible challenges to make a difference. It's late March 1876, and the harsh winter is finally beginning to relent. The brutal cold has persisted since December, with temperatures often dropping below freezing point. This extreme weather has taken a significant toll on survival and rescue efforts. The impact of these extreme winter conditions has been profound. They have shaped future actions and strategies for survival, including the development of more resilient shelter and better insulation techniques. The enduring legacy of this harsh winter serves as a reminder of the resilience and adaptability required to survive in extreme conditions. The lessons learned from these difficult times have shaped our understanding of winter's impact on human activities and history, ensuring that future generations can better prepare for similar challenges. As we look to the future, it is crucial to remember the enduring legacy of extreme weather conditions like those experienced in 1876. Winter is not just a season of cold and snow, it's also a time that challenges our resilience and heroism. Consider the winter of 1876, which was unusually harsh. The frost-free period lasted just 90 days compared to the average of 120 days. During this raid, Tubman and her team rescued more than 700 slaves. This was a significant achievement, made all the more remarkable by the harsh winter conditions they faced. One of the most notable examples is the winter of 1862 to 1863, which was particularly harsh. Troops in these camps endured significant hardship due to a lack of proper shelter and adequate supplies. Their resilience and courage are testament to the human spirit's ability to overcome adversity, even in the harshest conditions. As we recognize these acts of heroism, it is important to remember that extreme weather conditions like those experienced in 1876 challenged and ultimately brought out the best in people. Their bravery serves as an inspiration for us today, reminding us of our own capacity to endure and overcome in the face of adversity. So as we look back on history, let's celebrate these moments of heroism that defined resilience during extreme winters like 1876. Trees became covered with snow, and January saw a total snowfall of 20 inches, 50 ounce-meters. This heavy snowfall made travel and rescue efforts extremely challenging. The average daily temperature during winter months dipped below freezing point 32 degrees F or 0 degrees F, further complicating survival strategies. Snowstorms during this winter reduced visibility and made it challenging for rescue teams to carry out their missions effectively. The effects of the harsh winter of 1876 were felt not only by humans, but also by the ecosystem and wildlife. Military strategies and tactics during this time had to adapt to these harsh conditions, often with great difficulty. The winter of 1876 was a time when the challenges of survival were magnified by extreme weather conditions. Looking back at the winter of 1876, it's clear that this period of extreme weather had a significant and lasting impact on history. So as we reflect on the past, let's acknowledge the resilience of those who endured such challenging conditions and the profound effect this winter had on our history. Winter encampments were often harsh and brutal, with soldiers facing relentless cold and wind. The average wind speed during the winter months was 25 m4 40 km/h, making it difficult to maintain body heat. But amidst these challenging conditions, human resilience shone through. Soldiers adapted their clothing and shelters to better withstand the cold. They layered clothings and built makeshift windbreaks using whatever materials they had at hand. The ability to endure such extreme conditions is a testament to human resilience and determination. In the face of adversity, soldiers found creative ways to stay warm and protect themselves from the elements. This resilience is a hallmark of human history and has been exhibited in numerous other challenging situations throughout time. As we look back on the winter of 1876 and its profound impact on survival efforts, it is this resilience that stands out. It serves as a reminder of our capacity to adapt, endure, and overcome even the harshest of conditions. The brutal winter of 1876 was a formidable opponent, but even in its harshest moments, there were those who knew how to navigate its challenges. Among them were the Native American Scouts, individuals with deep connections to the land and unparalleled survival skills. These scouts possessed an intimate knowledge of the terrain that allowed them to track and locate missing persons with remarkable accuracy. Leaders like Red Cloud of the Lakota tribe were renowned for their exceptional tracking abilities. They could discern subtle signs in the snow and ice, signals that would be invisible to those less attuned to nature's whisperings. These skills were honed over generations, passed down through stories and shared experiences. Sitting, Bull of the Hunkpapa Lakota was another formidable figure whose expertise in tracking and survival were legendary. He could read the landscape like a book, understanding not just what had happened but also predicting future events based on natural patterns. In this era of extreme weather, Native American Scouts played a crucial role in rescue missions. Their ability to traverse frozen terrains, locate water sources, and navigate by the stars was often the difference between life and death for those lost or stranded. The harsh conditions required specialized techniques. Scouts would sometimes melt snow using their bodies to create water, a skill born out of necessity and refined through experience. This intricate knowledge was essential for both survival and the success of rescue operations. Notably, the Indigenous understanding of the land also included respect for its power. Scouts knew when to pause, when the storm was too fierce to proceed safely. Their wisdom in recognizing the limits of human endurance against nature's fury was just as vital as their ability to move through it. The contributions of Native American Scouts during the winter of 1876 highlighted a profound truth. Survival in extreme conditions often depends on intimate knowledge and respect for nature's complexities. Their story serves as a testament to the enduring power of traditional wisdom and adaptability. Yet, despite their invaluable assistance, the history of Native American Scouts is often overshadowed by larger narratives. The tale of their resilience and ingenuity offers a glimpse into what can be achieved through deep connection to the land and careful observation of nature's subtlest cues. In the face of harsh winter weather, it was the Indigenous people who possessed the skills necessary for endurance and rescue. Their legacy serves as a reminder that our survival often hinges on our ability to listen to the earth and heed its silent warnings. Perhaps the most profound lesson from the winter of 1876 is that true adaptability comes not just from physical strength, but from a deep understanding and respect for one's environment. As we navigate our own challenges today, we would do well to remember this timeless wisdom. For in every storm, there are those who can read the signs and guide us through safely. And so, even in the harshest of conditions, hope endures, carried by the indomitable spirit of those who know the land is their own. Winter's chill as a way of exposing vulnerabilities, especially when it comes to survival and medical care. The extreme conditions of the winter of 1876, with temperatures dipping below 40 degrees Celsius, 40 degrees Celsius, put immense strain on rescue efforts. Rescue missions faced significant challenges due to the harsh weather, but even after survivors were found, their struggles did not end. The severe cold could cause vital functions to slow down, leaving individuals disoriented and at risk of permanent damage. Frostbite, which damages body tissue due to freezing, was another major concern. Soldiers and civilians alike faced the constant threat of these ailments during the harsh winter months. In response to these medical challenges, makeshift hospitals were set up to provide essential care. Despite the challenges, innovative treatment methods were employed to save lives. These efforts showcase the resilience of those dedicated to saving lives in the face of extreme adversity. The harsh winter of 1876 not only tested survival, but also strained medical resources to their limits. Yet, through ingenuity and determination, lives were saved, offering a glimmer of hope amidst the cold. In the harsh winter of 1876, military operations were fraught with logistical hurdles. Supply chains were disrupted, and transportation challenges multiplied as horses and wagons struggled in freezing temperatures. Winter weather posed severe difficulties for maintaining equipment. Water froze in supply lines, rendering them unusable. The cold also affected the performance of horses and wagons. Icy roads made travel treacherous, and the animals themselves suffered from exposure. Soldiers had to take extraordinary measures to keep their equipment functional. They would often sleep with their guns to prevent them from freezing. These logistical difficulties severely impacted rescue efforts and the overall morale of troops. The severe cold exacerbated problems with food supplies, making it even harder to sustain a fighting force in such conditions. Soldiers often had to rely on rations that were difficult to preserve and sometimes spoiled rapidly due to the cold. These logistical hurdles highlight the severe challenges posed by extreme winter weather on military operations and rescue efforts during this time period. Understanding these difficulties offers a glimpse into the immense challenges faced by those trying to survive and operate in such unforgiving conditions. The extreme winter of 1876 took a heavy toll on agriculture, exacerbating food scarcity across the nation. Crops struggled to survive the severe cold, with many failing entirely. Livestock too faced significant losses as animals succumbed to harsh conditions and food shortages. The impact was widespread, leaving many communities with severely depleted food supplies. Emergency measures were taken to distribute available resources, but the challenges of survival and rescue efforts in such conditions remained daunting. The extreme winter of 1876 not only tested human resilience, but also underscored the critical importance of adaptability in face of nature's harshest trials. The winter's grip on agriculture highlighted the precarious balance between sustenance and survival, a sobering reminder of nature's unyielding power. The extreme winter exacerbated food scarcity, increasing challenges for survival and rescue efforts in ways that echo through history. The heavy snowfall blocked tracks and caused derailments, leaving rescue teams stranded and unable to reach those in need. Roads, already challenging due to the rugged terrain, became virtually impassable as they were covered in deep snow. Telegraph lines, which were essential for communication and coordination, also suffered significant damage. The weight of the ice and snow caused the lines to snap or become disconnected, leaving rescue teams isolated and unable to coordinate their efforts. Rescuers faced the daunting task of repairing these damaged networks in order to restore communication and transportation routes. However, the harsh winter conditions made this work incredibly challenging and dangerous. In addition to the physical obstacles, the extreme cold also took a toll on rescue workers themselves. The freezing temperatures made it difficult for them to work outdoors for extended periods, increasing the risk of frostbite and hypothermia. Despite these obstacles, rescue teams worked tirelessly to clear paths, repair tracks, and reconnect telegraph lines. Their efforts were crucial in restoring some level of communication and transportation, but the constant setbacks and repairs made it an uphill battle. The extreme winter weather posed significant obstacles for coordinated rescue operations, making it a constant struggle to provide aid to those in need. Illustrating the obstacles winter weather posed for coordinated rescue operations, these challenges highlighted the immense difficulties faced by rescuers in providing timely and effective aid to those stranded or injured during this harsh season. The harsh winter conditions of 1876 posed immense challenges for survival and rescue efforts, making the work of volunteer organizations crucial. During this time, the American Red Cross emerged as a critical player in providing aid. Founded just 2 years prior, the organization was still in its infancy, but quickly mobilized to assist those in need. Despite their best efforts, Red Cross workers often encountered significant hurdles. Harsh weather conditions made it difficult to transport supplies, and the sheer scale of the need sometimes overwhelmed their resources. However, their dedication remained unwavering. In the face of severe winter storms, these organizations often faced logistical nightmares. Coordinating the delivery of supplies to remote and hard-to-reach areas was a monumental task. Nevertheless, volunteers persevered, understanding that every successful mission could mean the difference between life and death for those stranded. A notable example of their success was the relief efforts following a major blizzard that struck in January 1876. Despite the harsh conditions, volunteers managed to deliver critical supplies to several isolated communities, saving many lives. These volunteer groups demonstrated the profound importance of organized aid in overcoming extreme weather conditions. Their efforts highlighted the indispensable role of such organizations in mitigating the devastating impacts of harsh winters and ensuring that help reaches those who need it most. As the winter of 1876 deepened, it brought with it more than just frigid temperatures and heavy snowfall. The extreme weather conditions exacerbated health issues that posed additional challenges to survivors and rescuers alike. Common illnesses during the winter, such as pneumonia and bronchitis, were particularly prevalent. The cold air and damp conditions provided an ideal environment for these respiratory diseases to spread rapidly among vulnerable populations. The lack of adequate medical supplies further complicated the situation. Rescue efforts often had to prioritize life-saving measures over comprehensive healthcare, leaving many injured and ill without proper treatment. Strategies for mitigating these health risks included the use of makeshift shelters to provide temporary refuge from the harsh elements. However, these structures were often poorly insulated and lacked basic sanitation facilities, leading to further spread of diseases within the camps. To compound matters, the cold weather hindered the effectiveness of traditional remedies. Herbal treatments and homeopathic cures that might have been effective under normal conditions often proved inadequate against the severe winter illnesses. Survivors and rescuers alike faced an uphill battle as they struggled to stay warm and healthy amidst the harsh conditions. The additional burdens of winter diseases highlighted the critical need for robust medical support in rescue operations during extreme weather events. The high mortality rates among both survivors and rescuers underscored the gravity of these health challenges. Despite valiant efforts, many lives were lost to diseases that could have been prevented or treated under better circumstances. The extreme weather conditions of 1876 served as a stark reminder of the multifaceted challenges posed by winter. Beyond the immediate dangers of freezing temperatures and heavy snowfall, the spread of illnesses added a layer of complexity to rescue efforts. As the rescue operations continued, it became clear that addressing these health issues was not just an additional task, but a critical component of ensuring the overall success and sustainability of the missions. This understanding led to improvements in future rescue operations, ensuring that health considerations were integrated into the planning and execution of missions during harsh winter conditions. In the brutal winter of 1876, when temperatures plummeted to 50 degrees Celsius, 46 degrees Celsius, and blizzards raged across the Midwest, survival hinged on a crucial advantage: local knowledge. For those familiar with the terrain, this harsh environment was not entirely unknown territory. The Lakota people, for instance, had generations of experience navigating the unforgiving landscapes of what is now South Dakota. They understood how to track animals through snow and locate hidden water sources, skills that proved invaluable during the winter's harshest days. In contrast, newcomers without this expertise often found themselves lost and vulnerable to the elements. A stark example is the Battle of Little Bighorn, where Colonel George Armstrong Custer's forces suffered a devastating defeat, partly due to their lack of familiarity with the terrain and weather. Custer's troops, many of whom were unfamiliar with the region's geography, struggled to navigate through blinding snowstorms and thick forests. Meanwhile, the Lakota Sioux and Cheyenne warriors, who knew the territory intimately, used their local knowledge to outmaneuver and overwhelm Custer's forces. This underscored the vital role of Indigenous expertise in surviving harsh conditions. In other parts of the country, settlers who had lived in the region for years also drew on their local knowledge to endure the winter. They knew which areas were prone to avalanches, where to find shelter from the wind, and how to build fires that would last through the night. These insights were crucial for survival, as even experienced outdoorsmen could be caught off guard by winter's ferocity. The harsh winter of 1876 showed that local knowledge was not just an advantage, but a necessity for those seeking to endure its extreme conditions. This understanding led rescue teams and settlers alike to place greater trust in the insights of those who knew the land intimately, ensuring that their survival strategies were rooted in proven expertise. In the end, the winter's wrath could be navigated, but only with the right knowledge by your side. The severe cold and heavy snowfall forced many animals to alter their migration patterns or seek refuge in unnatural habitats. For instance, some birds that would typically migrate south were unable to make the journey due to the persistent snowstorms. These birds, now trapped in a landscape they weren't adapted to survive in, faced significant food scarcity. The ecosystem disruptions didn't stop at birds. Mammals like bears were also affected. Bears that normally hibernate for the winter found their dens covered in snow, making it difficult to maintain a consistent body temperature. This struggle for survival extended to smaller mammals as well, with many rodents unable to find sufficient food sources due to the frozen ground. The ripple effect of these ecological changes was profound. With key species unable to sustain their populations, the entire food chain was at risk. For example, reduced bird populations meant fewer seeds were dispersed, which in turn affected the growth of certain plant species. The loss of these plants could have long-term consequences for the landscape, impacting the habitats of other species. This cascading effect highlighted how interconnected all aspects of the ecosystem were, and how a harsh winter could amplify existing vulnerabilities. Amidst this ecological turmoil, human survival and rescue efforts were further challenged. For soldiers and survivors braving the cold, food sources became increasingly scarce as wildlife struggled to adapt. The lack of sustenance made it harder for them to maintain their energy and strength, crucial for enduring harsh conditions. Moreover, the disruption in wildlife patterns also meant that traditional hunting methods became less effective. This led to increased desperation among those relying on wild game for sustenance, compounding the challenges they already faced. The harsh winter of 1876 underscored how intricately connected the fate of humans and wildlife truly were. As we reflect on this time, it's clear that understanding the complexities of our ecosystem can offer valuable insights into navigating future challenges. As the harsh winter of 1876 settled in, soldiers and rescue teams found themselves grappling with unprecedented challenges. Innovations in clothing materials were crucial for survival during this time. The development of heavier wool fabrics helped retain body heat more effectively than previous lighter materials. Heated tents, though rudimentary by today's standards, offered a respite from the bitter cold. Snow travel equipment such as snowshoes and sleds enabled rescue teams to navigate the treacherous terrain more efficiently. These innovations in winter gear and equipment were instrumental in mitigating some of the challenges posed by severe weather conditions. Though the winter was harsh, these technological advancements made a significant difference in the survival and rescue efforts of the time. Construction of these fortified structures was meticulous and strategic, providing much-needed shelter from the harsh elements. These forts served as essential refuge points where soldiers and survivors could seek protection from the unforgiving winter conditions. The strategic importance of these fortifications cannot be overstated. They played a vital role in rescue operations during this treacherous period. During the intense winter months, forts offered shelter from harsh winds and bitter cold, becoming indispensable sanctuaries for those in need of rescue. These extreme conditions underscored the necessity of fortifications, which provided a critical lifeline for survival and rescue operations during this harsh winter landscape. Thus, the construction and strategic use of these fortified structures illuminate how crucial they were in facilitating rescue efforts amidst the unforgiving winter weather of 1876. Illustrating their significance, these fortifications stood as testaments to human resilience and ingenuity in the face of adversity. As the cold set in, morale among soldiers encamped for the winter began to deteriorate rapidly. The harsh environment exacerbated existing stress and depression. The constant chill and lack of adequate shelter took a toll on their psychological well-being, making it difficult for them to maintain resilience. Rescue efforts faced additional challenges as the cold temperatures and snowstorms hampered rescue missions, leading to delays and increased stress among rescuers. The prolonged exposure to extreme conditions often resulted in symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, further complicating the rescue efforts. Mental resilience became a critical factor in survival, with those able to maintain psychological endurance proving more likely to overcome the harsh conditions. The winter encampments of the past provided crucial insights into the importance of mental health during times of crisis. As we reflect on these experiences, it becomes clear that psychological endurance was as crucial as physical survival during the extreme winter of 1876. This understanding underscores the need for comprehensive support systems that address both physical and mental health challenges in extreme conditions. The winter of 1876 was particularly harsh, with temperatures plummeting to record lows across the United States. In such extreme conditions, survival depended not only on resilience, but also on the support provided by animal husbandry. Cattle and other livestock were crucial for survival during this period. They supplied meat and dairy products, which provided vital nutrients to help people endure the cold. Moreover, livestock also served as a source of warmth. The bodies of animals could be used to create insulating layers that were essential for protecting against the biting cold. However, maintaining these animals in such extreme conditions presented significant challenges. Feed was scarce due to the frozen ground and lack of plant growth. Water sources also became limited as they froze over, making it difficult for both humans and their livestock to stay hydrated. In response to these challenges, innovative techniques were employed. Some survivors built makeshift greenhouses using old sheets or blankets to create a warm environment where plants could grow. Others dug wells deep into the frozen earth to reach underground water sources that had not yet frozen over. These measures were critical for preserving livestock and ensuring that they continued to provide the necessary resources for survival during this incredibly harsh winter. To overcome these issues, strategies such as insulating equipment with blankets or animal hides were employed. Soldiers also had to be vigilant in keeping equipment dry and free from moisture that could lead to malfunctioning machinery. The American Battlefield Trust emphasizes the ingenuity displayed by soldiers in adapting to these harsh conditions, showcasing the resilience required for military logistics during severe winters. For communities to endure these extreme conditions, traditional knowledge and communal efforts were crucial. They stockpiled resources such as firewood and food supplies in preparation for the long winter months. Structures were modified to provide better insulation against the cold. Homes were reinforced with additional layers of fabric or insulating materials like straw and animal furs. Routines were also adapted to conserve energy and maintain warmth. People huddled together for body heat, cooked meals over small, controlled fires, and performed outdoor tasks during the brief periods of daylight. Despite the challenges, the ingenuity and resilience displayed by these communities illustrate the crucial role that preemptive planning and adaptation play in winter survival. The lessons learned from their experiences underscore how communities can thrive even under the most trying circumstances when they prepare and adapt proactively. As winter approaches each year, these stories serve as a reminder of the importance of community efforts in ensuring that everyone can endure the harsh season. Winter preparation is not just about survival, it is also about building resilience and fostering a sense of unity within communities. This spirit of resilience and adaptability has helped shape the American character, making our communities stronger and more united in the face of adversity. In response to these challenges, rescuers began using more advanced technologies and techniques. For example, they employed better insulated clothing and equipment to protect against the cold. Communication devices became crucial as rescue teams needed reliable ways to stay in touch despite the harsh weather conditions. This ensured that they could coordinate their efforts effectively. Innovative methods such as using snowmobiles and other winter-specific vehicles allowed rescuers to traverse the difficult terrain more efficiently. Despite these innovations, the rescue missions still required an immense amount of tenacity and perseverance. The rescuers had to brave the harsh conditions with a steadfast determination to save lives. Their efforts highlighted the remarkable adaptability and resilience that have become a hallmark of the American spirit during times of crisis. As we look back at these historic rescues, we are reminded of the extraordinary lengths that people will go to in order to save and protect others. The legacy of these brave rescuers serves as an inspiration for future generations, demonstrating that even in the harshest conditions, there is always hope. The winter of 1876 was brutal, with temperatures plummeting to sub-zero levels and relentless blizzards blanketing the land. Indigenous communities faced unparalleled challenges in their fight for survival. Hunkered down in makeshift shelters, they relied on traditional knowledge passed down through generations. The Lakota people of the Great Plains, for example, had long mastered the art of using buffalo fur to create warm and waterproof garments. These intricately designed clothing items were essential in shielding them from the bitter cold and wind. However, even with their ingenious adaptations, the extreme conditions took a heavy toll. Accounts from that time describe how many were forced to burn their buffalo fur clothing for warmth. This desperate measure highlights the depth of the crisis and the lengths to which people were driven. Despite these hardships, Indigenous communities demonstrated remarkable resilience and ingenuity. The extreme winter conditions of 1876 brought unprecedented challenges to the frontier trade routes, disrupting vital supply chains and rescue efforts. Trading posts along the Missouri River, for example, faced severe obstacles as deep snow and frozen waterways hindered the movement of goods. The American Battlefield Trust highlights that during this period, many frontier communities relied heavily on these trade routes for essential supplies. However, the harsh winter conditions made it nearly impossible to transport these goods, leading to significant shortages. Soldiers and settlers alike struggled to acquire necessary provisions, as even basic items like flour, salt, and ammunition became scarce. The impact was felt far beyond the immediate region, affecting trade networks that stretched from St. Louis to the Northern Territories. The Auburn University Digital Library notes that these disruptions had a cascading effect, making rescue missions and military operations even more challenging. The harsh winter conditions also took a toll on the health of both humans and animals, with frostbite and hypothermia posing significant risks. The far-reaching effects of the harsh winter on the economy and resource availability underscored the fragility of these frontier trade routes. Despite heroic efforts, the extreme weather conditions of 1876 proved to be an insurmountable obstacle for many frontier communities. This sobering reality highlighted the critical importance of these trade routes in sustaining life on the frontier. Weather prediction in the 19th century often involved tracking changes in barometric pressure or observing patterns in cloud formations. However, these methods were not always reliable and could lead to misjudgments. This sobering reality highlighted the knowledge gaps that existed in weather prediction during that time. The reliance on traditional methods left much to be desired, especially in extreme situations. Understanding how to predict the weather accurately could have made a significant difference in survival rates and rescue efforts during harsh winters like those experienced in 1876. Fortunately, modern meteorological techniques have vastly improved our ability to predict weather patterns with greater accuracy. However, in the winter of 1876, these advancements were still decades away from being realized. It's January 1876, and the winter has descended with a ferocity that will make history. This is not just any cold snap, it's a record-breaking freeze that will challenge the survival of both humans and wildlife alike. Wildlife across the country are scrambling to adapt as temperatures plummet below freezing points. Animals that typically hibernate find themselves waking up early from their slumber due to the intense cold. Migration patterns are disrupted as creatures desperately seek warmer climates that seem elusive even in the south. The harsh conditions can be fatal for those unprepared, leading to a significant reduction in wildlife populations. These ecological shifts ripple through the entire ecosystem, affecting not just individual species, but also their food chains and habitats. The winter of 1876 serves as a stark reminder of the delicate balance between nature and human activity, even in the harshest of environments. As we delve deeper into this story, we'll see how both humans and wildlife navigate these challenging conditions, showcasing the remarkable power of adaptation and resilience. Next, we'll explore how the harsh winter weather impacted human rescue efforts, highlighting the remarkable ingenuity and determination of those facing adversity. Temperatures plummeted below freezing points, and snowfall reached record highs. Amidst these severe conditions, one piece of technology proved invaluable: the humble snowshoe. Snowshoes allowed soldiers and rescuers to move more efficiently through deep snow. The large surface area of the snowshoe distributed the weight evenly, preventing the wearer from sinking into the snow. Historical records show that snowshoes were used extensively in the Civil War for scouting and patrols. In January 1876, during the rescue efforts following a blizzard, snowshoes were crucial in locating and reaching stranded soldiers. They enabled rescuers to cover more ground quickly, increasing the chances of finding survivors. The use of snowshoes illustrates how technology helped mitigate the harsh conditions and aided in survival during extreme winters. Without this ingenious tool, rescue missions would have been far more challenging, and many lives might have been lost to the cold. Temperatures plummeted far below freezing, creating a battlefield of ice and snow that tested even the most seasoned warriors. Harsh blizzards swept across the plains, reducing visibility to nearly nothing. Rescue efforts during these times were fraught with danger and difficulty. The harsh weather made it nearly impossible for rescuers to locate those in need of help, let alone reach them safely. The Lakota and other tribes had adapted remarkable survival strategies over generations. They knew how to harness the heat of fires, creating shelters that could withstand even the coldest nights. These shelters were often dug into the ground and covered with layers of animal hides and furs to trap heat inside. This ancient knowledge was crucial for their survival in such extreme conditions. Tribes also knew how to track game animals through the snow, a skill that became vital during the long winter months when food supplies were scarce. They could read the land as if it were written in code. The ability to predict weather changes was another crucial skill they possessed. By observing natural signs, such as changes in animal behavior or cloud formations, they could anticipate incoming storms and prepare accordingly. Despite these ingenious adaptations, the winter of 1876 proved to be one of the most challenging on record. The cold was so severe that even the hardiest of survivors struggled to endure. The Lakota, known for their resilience and determination, found themselves pushed to the brink. Their ancient knowledge was tested as never before, but it remained the cornerstone of their survival. As we look back on these times, it's clear that without this deep-seated knowledge, many more lives would have been lost to the harsh winter conditions. Their survival strategies, honed over generations, were a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. And as they navigated through the long winter months, their spirits remained unbroken and determined to see another spring. Their stories serve as a reminder of the power of Indigenous knowledge and the remarkable adaptability of human beings in the face of adversity. Among the strategies employed was the use of winter camouflage. Soldiers learned to blend into the snowy landscape, making themselves less visible to the enemy. They would often wear white clothing or cover their uniforms with snow, creating a seamless appearance against the winter backdrop. This technique was particularly useful during rescue missions, where stealth and surprise were crucial to success. Tubman's raids often involved navigating through harsh winter conditions, and her knowledge of terrain and camouflage proved invaluable in avoiding detection by slave catchers. However, winter camouflage had its limitations. The constant movement required to stay warm made it difficult to maintain a stationary position for long periods. Game, a primary source of food for many tribes, became scarce as the cold temperatures and heavy snowfall made hunting difficult. Forage and other essential plants also dwindled, reducing the tribe's ability to supplement their diets with wild vegetation. To cope with these challenges, some tribes adopted communal living arrangements, pooling resources to ensure the survival of the group as a whole. Other tribes turned to innovative food preservation techniques such as drying and smoking meat to extend the lifespan of their dwindling supplies. These adaptations were crucial for maintaining a steady food supply during the long, cold winter months. Despite these efforts, the extreme weather conditions made it difficult for tribes to maintain their traditional lifestyles. The harsh winter of 1876 highlighted the resilience and adaptability of Native American tribes in the face of severe adversity. Their unique survival strategies and communal living arrangements served as a testament to their resourcefulness and determination to endure. As the winter season progressed, tribes continued to rely on their collective knowledge and ingenuity to navigate the challenging conditions. Their ability to adapt and persevere in the face of extreme weather underscored their deep connection to the land and their resilient spirit. This winter season served as a reminder of the profound impact that severe weather can have on Native American communities and their survival strategies. With the arrival of winter in 1876, frontier settlements across America faced a stark reality. Their infrastructure was no match for the harsh conditions. The cold temperatures and heavy snowfall were relentless, causing widespread destruction of houses and outbuildings. This prolonged period of freezing weather impaired transportation routes, making it difficult for rescue teams to navigate and locate those in need of assistance. Roads became treacherous with thick layers of ice and snow, while communication lines were frequently disrupted by the extreme weather. In response to these challenges, settlers developed innovative methods to protect and repair their damaged infrastructure. They used tarps and thick blankets to insulate their homes against the cold, while others reinforced roofs with extra timber to prevent collapse under heavy snow loads. These makeshift repairs were crucial for maintaining a semblance of shelter and safety during the long winter months. Despite these efforts, the severe winter weather posed significant practical challenges to frontier communities. The destruction of houses and outbuildings, along with the impairment of transportation routes and communication lines, complicated rescue efforts and placed a tremendous burden on survival strategies. Highlighting this reality underscores the broader impact that severe weather can have on frontier settlements and their ability to maintain essential infrastructure. Historical accounts from the Battlefield Trust detail the challenges faced by soldiers in winter camps during the Civil War. The cold temperatures, coupled with harsh winds, hampered efforts to bring aid to those in need. Soldiers had to maintain their determination amid psychological challenges posed by the extreme weather conditions. Despite these harsh conditions, military units employed strategies to maintain motivation and cohesion within their ranks. By sharing stories of past successes and reminding each other of the importance of their mission, soldiers were able to withstand the extreme conditions. The human aspect of survival and rescue efforts is highlighted through these accounts of resilience in the face of adversity. But for those caught in its cold embrace during that severe winter, survival depended on more than just physical endurance. This is where knowledge of winter survival techniques from indigenous cultures played a crucial role. Traditional methods like building snow shelters provided temporary refuge for those stranded in the wilderness. These shelters could help maintain body heat and shield from the wind, offering a critical lifeline during frigid nights. Similarly, using animal furs for warmth was an effective practice borrowed from native wisdom. Furs could be layered to create a barrier against the cold, providing insulation that modern synthetic materials couldn't match at the time. The Inuit, for instance, used seal and caribou skins to make parkas that were not only warm but also waterproof. Such techniques enhanced the chances of survival and successful rescue operations during the harsh winter of 1876. For soldiers encamped in the open, these methods were particularly valuable. Understanding and adopting these traditional techniques proved invaluable for those braving the extreme cold during that fateful winter. As the brutal winter of 1876 descended upon the American landscape, food preservation became a critical challenge. The harsh conditions made it nearly impossible to maintain adequate supplies of perishable goods. Traditional methods such as salt curing and smoke housing were heavily relied upon, yet even these techniques often proved insufficient in the face of such extreme cold. The temperature fluctuations were severe, with daytime highs sometimes reaching only into the teens and nighttime lows plummeting well below zero. This made it especially difficult to keep food from freezing or spoiling. Salt curing, a method that had been used for centuries, became a lifeline for many. It involved rubbing meat with salt to draw out moisture and create an environment inhospitable to bacteria. However, the extremely cold conditions often meant that even salt-cured meats would freeze solid, rendering them unusable until they could be thawed slowly and carefully. Smokehousing was another traditional technique that saw extensive use. This method involved hanging meat in a smoke-filled room to preserve it over time. The smoke not only added flavour, but also helped to inhibit bacterial growth. Despite these efforts, many faced nutritional challenges due to the limited availability and variability of preserved foods. The reliance on a narrow range of preserved items led to deficiencies in essential vitamins and minerals. The impact of these conditions was felt most acutely by those living in remote or isolated areas where access to supplies was already scarce. The struggle for sustenance became a daily reality, adding to the overall hardship of surviving the winter. For those who managed to secure a supply of preserved foods, the challenge then became how to ration them effectively over the long, cold months. Each morsel had to be carefully measured and conserved. The real struggle for survival and sustenance during this extreme winter highlights the importance of traditional preservation methods in times of crisis. These extreme weather conditions not only posed physical challenges, but also took a psychological toll on the soldiers. Isolation, the constant cold, and the scarcity of supplies contributed to a decline in military morale. Soldiers often struggled with mental fatigue and despair. Another letter, this time from Sergeant Thomas Wilson, dated February 14, 1876, recounts, "Men are growing weary of the unending cold and darkness. Many have lost hope that they will ever see spring again." Commanders recognized the need to bolster morale in such trying conditions. Some implemented strategies, such as organizing group activities and ensuring regular communication with families back home. Despite these efforts, the winter of 1876 remained particularly challenging. The constant threat of frostbite and hypothermia was ever present. One particular incident, noted in the diary of Lieutenant George Clark on February 14, 1876, highlighted the desperation. A rescue mission was planned, but had to be abandoned due to the sheer brutality of the cold and the lack of visibility. The psychological effects of these conditions were profound. Soldiers reported feelings of helplessness and despondency. The harsh winter of 1876 underscores the critical role that traditional preservation methods play in times of crisis, particularly when modern resources and comforts are scarce. As the winter season progressed, soldiers found solace in small victories and the promise of better days to come. The story of their resilience serves as a testament to human endurance under extreme conditions. In the end, it was the indomitable spirit of these soldiers that carried them through the harshest winter, highlighting the extraordinary lengths to which people can go in pursuit of survival and rescue. The disruption of telegraph lines wasn't the only challenge. Mail delivery also suffered greatly. With roads often impassable due to snow and ice, postal services struggled to reach their destinations. This delay in communication significantly hindered military coordination efforts, as commanders found it difficult to receive timely updates or issue crucial orders. The severity of these problems was exacerbated by the fact that blizzards could last for days on end, prolonging the disruption. Even when the weather cleared briefly, the damage to infrastructure required time-consuming repairs. This breakdown in communication infrastructure was felt most acutely during rescue efforts. With lines down and mail delayed, it became exceedingly difficult to coordinate search parties or relay vital information about missing persons. Signal fires were constructed using dried wood, gathered despite the bitter cold. They were ignited with careful precision to avoid being extinguished by heavy snowfall or strong winds. Maintaining these fires was a constant battle against the elements. Low temperatures made it challenging for the flames to catch and hold, while high winds threatened to blow out the critical source of light. Despite these hardships, signal fires played a vital role in communication. They were used to alert nearby settlements of emergencies or to guide lost travelers back to safety. Historical accounts describe how these fires were sometimes built in elevated positions, such as on hills or atop buildings, to increase their visibility against the snowy backdrop. The signal fires of 1876 highlight the innovative ways people tried to overcome communication barriers during harsh conditions, showcasing human resilience in the face of adversity. With every spark ignited and every flame tended, these fires served as beacons of hope amidst the winter's brutal grasp. As the winter of 1876 tightened its grip, the harsh conditions not only posed immediate threats to survival, but also severely impacted the availability and distribution of supplies and provisions for both survivors and soldiers. Transporting supplies through frozen landscapes became an arduous task. Wagons and horses struggled to navigate the icy terrain, leading to delays and increased risk of breakdowns. The impact was not just logistical but also psychological. Knowing that supplies were scarce could lead to a decline in morale among the soldiers and civilians alike. Innovations such as insulated storage units and more efficient heating methods were employed, but these often came at a cost that not all could afford. The extreme weather also necessitated rationing of food supplies to ensure they lasted through the harsh winter months. Adaptations included preserving perishable items in snowbanks or underground cellars, though these methods were not without their own set of challenges. Despite these efforts, the harsh conditions of 1876 revealed significant gaps in logistical preparedness for such extreme weather events. Understanding how these challenges played out provides a deeper appreciation for the resilience shown by both survivors and soldiers during that pivotal winter. The harsh winter of 1876 brought unique challenges to frontier communities, particularly in maintaining communication and coordinating rescue efforts during times of crisis. With traditional methods of sending messages through mail and telegraph lines often disrupted by heavy snowfall and bitter cold, frontiersmen turned to innovative alternatives such as runners and homing pigeons. Runners could navigate the difficult terrain, carrying messages through treacherous conditions that were impassable for other forms of transportation. Homing pigeons, known for their remarkable navigational abilities, were also employed to deliver critical messages across vast distances where human runners might falter. Signal fires played a crucial role in emergency communication, as their bright flames could be seen from miles away, signaling the need for immediate aid. These methods, though primitive by today's standards, were lifelines that ensured survival and rescue during a time when every minute counted.